So in this video I want to talk a little bit about self-defense, particularly for women. Okay, I got a request from one of my subscribers asking me to talk about self-defense for women. So first of all, a little bit of I guess my personal history of martial arts. So I have been doing martial arts consistently since 2012. And I've dabbled a little bit in and out of it most of my life. And I've always been extremely active all of my life. I used to wrestle with the neighborhood kids back when I was like a preteen, when I was 12 years old all the way until I was about 16. A bunch of kids used to gather up at the park in my neighborhood, and we used to always wrestle and play fight and stuff like that. Yeah, so since 2012 I've been doing martial arts consistently. And I started off doing karate for about 2 years. And I also did Shaolin Kung Fu, but specifically, and this is real Shaolin Kung Fu from the Shaolin Temple, but specifically it was a mixture of what I got the most out of my Shaolin training was a variety of Wing Chun. It wasn't specifically Wing Chun, it was, I believe it was actually Filipino empty hand fighting, which also translates into knife fighting, which I also learned Filipino knife fighting in that system. Because my Sifu was very versatile with his teachings and taught a little bit of everything that he knew. So I also got kickboxing experience, not only because my Sifu had done Western boxing for a number of years, he had done kickboxing for a number of years, but also because Shaolin Kung Fu, a large portion of it, especially now as it is, and I mean there's hundreds of different styles within Shaolin itself. It's a very diverse system, and it would take a person probably 10 lifetimes to learn everything. So different monks and different disciples and teachers just focus on their own specific chosen part of Shaolin, because no one can really become a master of all. Well, anyways, kickboxing, Chinese kickboxing, also known as Sanshao or Sanda, which is a form of, is similar to Muay Thai, except it's mostly punches, kicks, and takedowns. Okay. And so you can look that up if you want. It's basically like K1 kickboxing with takedowns. You know, the objective is to either knock your opponent out or win, or knock your opponent out of the ring, knock your opponent unconscious, or score points. Okay. And so that was a big part of Shaolin as well, of my Shaolin training, and that was a big takeaway. In addition to body manipulation, biomechanics, joint manipulation, which Qinna, which is basically small joint manipulation. It's Chinese submission fighting, I guess you could say. And so I did that for 4 years, okay? And in the meantime, see, I'm not the type of person to just do something half-ass, okay? Every single day since I started karate and Shaolin, I actually was implementing the things that I was learning in class on my own, in my own spare time too. So I go to class 3 times a week, and then every single day, on class days and off class days, I would spar with other people. I would hit the heavy bag. I would practice drills with some of my other friends who at the time were veteran martial artists, essentially. Like, they had been doing martial arts since they were little children. Two of my best friends actually were also martial arts instructors. And so I was getting a little bit of teaching, like, from all sorts of different areas, and I was training every single day. So I was progressing much faster than other people in my class, and progressing much faster than the average person who takes a martial arts class. Beyond that, I feel like I have natural martial art ability anyway, or natural, what you would call environmental intelligence. So it's easy for me to be aware of somebody who's walking up behind me. It's easy for me to counter, you know, certain maneuvers because I'm hypersensitive to my environment and movement. Anyway, I had continued doing Shaolin for 4 years. That was a lot of kickboxing and a lot of Wing Chun. Wing Chun is very, very good for defense and reactions to clinch work and grappling. A lot of people don't know its practical application in true street fighting. But essentially, when people are grabbing on you, it's a lot easier to defend yourself if somebody was to grab you or get you in a clinch or wrestle with you. I noticed my Wing Chun directly translated to Jiu-Jitsu, surprisingly enough. When I would roll with Jiu-Jitsu people, some of which were doing Jiu-Jitsu for years, blue belts and whatnot, I was able to efficiently defend their submissions. For the most part, it was just, you know, they would try to control me in a certain way, try to hold me down, do holds and whatnot. I was always on top of things because Wing Chun, for me at least, I was able to implement my Wing Chun in a way that every time someone would like grab me or grab my arm or whatever, I would constantly establish wrist control. So anyway, I noticed a direct translation into my grappling. Karate, my 2 years of karate was primarily stance work. It was front stance or bow stance, horse stance, etc. Obviously, I learned the lunge punching and all of that, and I developed an excellent front leg techniques. I used my jab and my sidekick much like a karate fighter would in a point sparring tournament, which is interesting because point fighting is not good for self-defense. However, when you're sparring with other people and they're coming at you, it's easy to keep them at distance if you know how to stick your front sidekick out there, keep them at a distance, and to jab them away as well. But I think my martial arts catapulted once I learned Shaolin. So anyway, fast forward to where I am now. The last 2 years, I've just been sparring with kickboxers, and I've been learning more kickboxing and etc. I have an extensive background in self-defense and martial arts, and I studied it back and forth just like I study health and psychology. Okay, that's the type of person I am. I'm all in, or I'm not in at all. Okay, and of course, there is a lot of misinformation in the martial arts world. There is a lot of misinformation in the martial arts world. Okay, a lot of the self-defense martial arts that you'll encounter are not actually applicable in real life. Okay, if you see someone who says, all right, so if they throw a punch at you, you just grab the arm and you parry, and you throw them over your shoulder. Any of this, like doing joint locks off of a punch, is completely impractical. Okay, so you know, you'll see demonstrations like this where where one person steps forward and they do a punch, they punch at you, and then the teacher like grabs their wrist and comes up and gets them in a choke lock or whatever, and the students all like infatuated and enthralled, like, wow, holy crap, my master's so great, I'm gonna be so deadly if I learn this. The fact is, you're not going to, like, that's not practical. Someone's not going to throw their punch in a way that you can grab them and joint lock them and all this stuff. Even if you spent 3 or 4, even if you spent like 8 years learning these joint lock things, it's not going to apply off of punches. Off of grabs, someone grabs you, especially by the neck, someone grabs you by the collar, someone gets you in a clinch, someone grabs you close range, which is normally what's going to happen. They're going to rush you. They're going to come in super close and try to pin you up against the wall. These joint lock techniques apply in that situation. They can. They'll help you. but not off of punching, okay? For the 8 years it would take for you to learn how to joint lock someone off of a punch, which is still highly unlikely, you would get so much more value out of your time learning a Muay Thai, because Muay Thai works with the clinch, it works with punching, like general punching, elbows, kicks of all kinds, and movement, footwork, okay? If you're a woman, you're not going to want to get grabbed by a man, okay? And if you do get grabbed by a man, you need to learn footwork, you need to learn leverage, how to use momentum, you need to learn everything that they'll teach you in Muay Thai and Judo, okay? Judo and then Jiu-Jitsu as well is very, very important, okay? Now, for a long time, I was a huge proponent of traditional martial arts simply because I wasn't thinking realistically, and I hadn't sparred people and tried these techniques, these traditional like joint locks and mystical techniques. I hadn't actually tried them in a full contact situation, okay? So what I'm saying is, like, please, for your own safety, for the sake of your life, stay away from Aikido, stay away from Tai Chi as far as self-defense is concerned. All right, I love Tai Chi. Tai Chi is a huge part of Shaolin Kung Fu, but it's not applied. It does have practical applications for fighting, but it's the principle. It's not the actual skill. If you spend years learning Tai Chi, it's not going to help you in a street fight. What will help you is first learning the basics. Learn how to actually fight, okay? To defend yourself against fighting, you have to learn how to fight, okay? It works both ways, all right? Also, one thing I learned is when I was doing Wing Chun extensively, I could defend, okay, I could destroy karate fighters at that time. It was very easy because karate fighters are very forward and back, and their punches are just, it was just devastated by the Wing Chun skill I had. But when I started fighting boxers and kickboxers, Wing Chun was not good at all. Because in a real fight, they're not gonna leave their hand out there. They're gonna jab, they're gonna flick their hand out and bring it right back, okay? Most of the time. A lot of times you see like overhand haymakers and shit from people who are not skilled. People who are not skilled, they're gonna be, you know, like monkey arming you, basically. And in that case scenario, it's very easy to defend against. Essentially, you just need a good guard here. Very, very easy. Alright? Make sure you defend the jaw. Make sure you cover up. It's going to be really hard for them to do any damage if you're holding your head in this way. Okay? The main things you want to be aware of are obviously your jaw and making sure that your head doesn't get a whiplash effect. Okay? Your nose and your eyes and whatnot, to a lesser extent, because as long as you're guarding up here and you're effectively moving in a way that will prevent any like ricochet effect of the jaw, which is how they concuss you, you'll be fine. Alright? The main thing you don't want is for someone to concuss you. If you get a concussion, you're done. That's why it's very, very important to learn a full contact martial art. Okay? Don't waste your time on these self-defense arts. So Muay Thai, Judo, and Jiu-Jitsu at the baseline. I would say, you know, do 4 years of Muay Thai, do 2 years of, actually, you know, 2 to 4 years of Muay Thai, but 2 to 4 years of Judo, and 2 to 4 years of Jiu-Jitsu. Okay? You want to really apply yourself there. You want to learn all of the basics and fundamentals of each martial art. If you get really good in the clinch, if you get really good with Judo, Judo deals with throwing people off the clinch and preventing yourself from being thrown. If you get really good at Jiu-Jitsu, learning how to defend against chokeholds and submission, then you'll be able to defend yourself very well on the street, even if you're fighting a man. Okay, so on the street, what do you see mostly? Besides the fucking monkey arm punching, usually with women, you know, it's a man trying to steal your purse or something. Someone tries to grab you, tried to grab your purse. You know what I mean? Someone tries to grab your purse. That's all awareness right there. At a baseline, developing a great awareness is very, very important. Okay? If you're paying attention to things, you should be able to spot someone trying to steal your stuff ahead of, like far beyond, you know, before they do it. Okay? Even if you're in a crowded environment. And if you're in a crowded environment, all you gotta do is scream, that motherfucker's got my purse, that guy's got my purse. You know, red purse, black purse, yellow purse. Give details and someone will give it back to you. Someone tried to steal my bike when I had it laying outside in my front yard, and I was all the way on the second story of my house. I was in the bathroom and my bike was outside. Someone actually got on my bike while I was in the bathroom in my house and started riding off with it. Luckily, I was outside by the time they were already like a quarter mile, or not a quarter mile away from me, but they were at the end of my street already. And I was chasing after them, and they were booking it, and I was yelling at the top of my lungs, yellow bike, that guy's got my bike, yellow bike. And there were cars around, and there was a car with their window down. And they chased down the guy with my bike because I said yellow bike, so they know it's a yellow bike, they know what to look for. That guy stole my bike. Chased him down, got my bike back for me. It just so happens that that person was somebody that I had helped move furniture into their house like a couple weeks before that. But regardless, it's really just critical, sharp, fast thinking and awareness in situations like that. Okay, when they're stealing property of that nature, spot suspicious activity long before it happens. Okay, and the thing is, it's not just easier said than done. My girlfriend has had this happen to her because she works downtown and she's always walking around parking garages and walking around alleyways and streets late at night on her way to her car after work. And she's had many times where there were guys coming up to her suspiciously. One guy came very close to stealing her purse, but she dealt with it very smart. She reached into her purse and said she has pepper spray. She said, "Leave it, back away, back away." She dealt with it very assertively. If you freeze up and you're in shock or whatever, and you freeze up and you don't act appropriately under pressure, you're going to get jacked. You're going to have a very tough time in a situation like that. Okay, so part of it's the attitude. And if you don't have the proper mental attitude, you can develop it through full contact martial arts. Stay away from point sparring. Stay away from karate, even though I did karate. Stay away from Tai Chi. Stay away from Aikido. Stay away from Krav Maga. Okay, for now. Krav Maga is not going to do you much good unless you actually learn the basics of fighting. Okay? Stay away from this shit. It will give you a false sense of security. If you don't do full contact sparring, and when I say full contact, I don't mean someone hits you as hard as they can. I just mean like light sparring, but with pressure, putting the pressure on against an aggressive opponent. They're not hitting you hard, but they're coming at you. You're going to have to actively defend yourself against techniques, and you're going to have to do some striking of your own. If you do full contact sparring, especially if you're learning a martial art and you're doing full contact sparring, in that martial art with the instructor there, you're going to learn how to act under pressure. Your body will get used to fight or flight response, and you will be able to act under pressure. Conversely, taking a martial arts class that doesn't do full contact sparring is, once again, you're going to learn all these techniques. You're going to learn how to spar, friendly sparring, where you just have a smile on your face and you don't even actually hit the person, or you barely tap the person. You barely get tapped. You've never been hit before. You've never been grabbed and thrown around a room before. How are you going to be able to effectively defend yourself when somebody's doing that for real on the street? You're not. You're going to think you are. You're like, yeah, I'm a black belt in karate, black belt in taekwondo. Taekwondo doesn't punch to the face, but I got a black belt, so I'm tough. No. All I learned is how to kick. I have my hands down, because in Taekwondo we don't put our hands up and all we do is kick people with our hands down like a bunch of dumb fucks. Taekwondo I love as a sport, but in a self-defense situation you're going to get knocked out. Okay? It's not realistic. Don't do that to yourself. Okay? Join Muay Thai. Join something with actual sparring. If you go to a martial arts class, whether they call it, doesn't matter what they call themselves, if you ask them, do you spar? Do you punch to the face? If they say, no, we don't spar, leave. You're wasting your time. You're not going to learn self-defense there. If they say that they don't punch to the face, leave. Because you need to learn how to defend against punches to the face. If you spend all your time sparring with people, not anticipating punches to the face, you won't think about that when you are actually in a self-defense situation. Okay? So, beyond that, the reason why you need to learn judo and clinching, like Muay Thai clinching, and judo and jiu-jitsu is because, especially with women, it's usually, you know, men who want something from you. They choose women because they're weak. Okay, and I've heard this many times before from convicted armed robbers or whatever, and thieves and whatnot who are in jail and they're being interviewed. They always say they choose the weakest target. Okay, especially people who aren't looking around being aware in the first place. So they're gonna try. They're gonna come up to women and they're going to do whatever they can to get your stuff or to rape you or whatever it may be. They're going to grab you. Okay, and I can tell you right now, burglars, robbers, thieves, and all this are probably not going to be that aggressive, but they can be, and they probably will. They could be. A lot of times they have weapons on them. If you start fighting back and you're really good at grappling and fighting and whatnot, and you have the right attitude, they're probably going to leave you alone and go to the next one. Find someone easier, right? They don't want a challenge. But in street fights, or not street fights, but people, you know, getting jumped at a bar or something like that, or jumped on the street, usually they're going to strike in and they're going to try to grab you. Okay, if you're good at striking, you're probably not going to get hit. Okay, if you are good at grappling, it doesn't matter because they haven't trained as much as you, and they're going to try to grab you. Is what I'm saying. They're going to try to rush in. They're going to grab you because you're a weak little woman. They're going to try to put you up against the wall or something like that. And they basically are going to have you in a clinch, something you'll learn from Muay Thai and Judo or wrestling. Okay, they teach you clinch, they teach you how to take someone down from a clinch, they teach you how to defend against clinch, and they teach you how to manhandle people in a clinch using leverage, momentum, and footwork. Okay, you can be 120 pounds, and you can effectively defend yourself against a 180 to 200 pound man if you learn judo. Now, it'll be hard because size does matter, strength does matter. It does. But you'll have the best chance if you get good at some kind of grappling, some kind of judo, wrestling, judo or wrestling. That's stand-up grappling, okay? That's if someone grabs you and tries to push you into a wall, your best defense is some kind of stand-up grappling such as judo. And I feel very confident that these three disciplines will give you all the tools you need to defend yourself in a situation. They all have full contact sparring. Okay? They teach you how to defend yourself under pressure. Someone who's trying to steal your fucking wallet or your purse is not going to be like, okay, I'm going to come at you like this, and I'm going to throw this punch, and you're going to grab my arm and throw me over your shoulder, okay? Let's practice that. That's not going to happen. That will happen in a bullshit self-defense martial art class. That's not going to happen on the street. In full contact, okay, in a situation where someone's trying to rob you, they're not going to say shit. They're going to come up to you looking all suspicious or trying to act casual, maybe, but you should be able to pick up on it. They're going to come up at you, probably maybe out of nowhere. They're going to be like, give me your wallet. They might give you no warning, just try to rip your wallet out, or they might just try to grab you, okay? If they steal your shit, steal your wallet, that's not that big of a deal. They try to grab you, now it's a matter of saving your life. The good thing is, if you feel someone grabbing you, defend yourself. That is very easy at that point. They can easily steal your purse. It's a lot easier to steal someone's purse than to fucking kill somebody or grab somebody and throw them around and shit. Someone steals your purse, you won't even notice or feel it until it's already gone. Someone tries to grab you and tries to kill you or whatever it might be, you can feel that. And it's the feeling, the sensitivity. You feel that, and all of a sudden your grappling takes control, and it's natural instinct from there. And they're down on the ground and they're done. Okay? But that's the benefit of learning how to defend yourself under pressure. Okay? In sparring, it's very similar depending on who you're going with. At first, you start off very slow and very light and very friendly, and take it easy. But as you get better, you start to take on more and more pressure. Okay? If you really are serious about defending your life, then you're going to give an hour every day for at least 3 times a day, or at least 3 days a week, or more if you're serious. If you're really serious about defending your life, you will go through the uncomfortable feelings of a full contact wrestling, judo, grappling, and Muay Thai class. Then Jiu-Jitsu, the reason why that's important is because it teaches you how to control someone's arms, how to maneuver around on the ground and in a clinch. And if somebody's trying to choke you, you'll be able to defend against that. Someone's trying to grab your arm, trying to, someone trying to take your life, they're trying to submit, they're trying to make you submit. Okay? Submission fighting, Jiu-Jitsu is submission fighting. It's all about preventing someone from breaking your arm, preventing someone from snapping your neck, preventing someone from pushing you around, okay? You're making them submit. And I bet as a woman that'll feel great. Anyone will feel great to make a wrongdoer, an evil dumb fuck, a criminal, to make them submit when they're trying to press harm on you. You want to make them regret that shit. So, as far as self-defense is concerned, if you're really serious about it, you'll learn a serious martial art that will teach you the basics of fighting, because that's what self-defense is. Okay, if you just focus on defense, like Wing Chun is probably the best for that. You still, the person's not going to stop until you knock them out. Until they've learned their lesson, and they either don't want to fuck with you, or they're incapacitated and cannot fuck with you any longer because they're unconscious. You don't learn that from dumbass point sparring, karate self-defense, and all that shit. Krav Maga is okay. I have a friend that teaches Krav Maga. It's not bad. It's probably the best of a lot of these self-defense martial arts. It's kind of turned into a fitness gimmick thing nowadays, it seems, but if you want to do Krav Maga, it's better to start with a basic martial art first, like Muay Thai, kickboxing, boxing, judo, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, sambo, etc. Learn grappling, learn spar, actually start with the basic striking martial art, the basic grappling martial art before you do Krav Maga. Because Krav Maga just teaches you how to apply these full contact martial arts to the street. And if you just learn Krav Maga, you won't really get a huge benefit. You'd probably be better off doing a year or 2 of full contact Muay Thai and a year or 2 of Jiu-Jitsu or Judo, and then you can do Krav Maga, and that will just blow your mind and teach you all the dynamics of a street fight, okay, and self-defense. But that should come after a basic martial art. Okay, so that should give everyone an idea of how to go. I'm not going to sit here and you can't learn from just talking and theory. You have to practice. That's why real sparring is very important, okay? It'll teach you how to act under. It's the closest thing you can get to actually defending yourself under pressure, okay? It is. You want to learn how to defend yourself against a powerful man? Have your boyfriend or husband push you up against the wall and hold you down, and you work to get out of it, okay? Me and my girlfriend play wrestle and play fight all the time, and I think, of course, part of that, we just enjoy doing it. She just enjoys doing that. But the great thing is that I know if she can wrestle with me, even if we're playing, because I pin her down and I try to tickle her and shit, and she feels, she doesn't want to be tickled. That's like life threatening to her, It's like fight or flight almost, really, when you're like being tickled. So she's trying to defend herself as if her life is on the line. I'm just holding her down, trying to tickle her. But if she can learn how to defend herself against somebody who grapples on a regular basis, who does jiu-jitsu and submission fighting with other people, who knows how to submit grown men, if she can defend herself against someone like me, then of course someone on the street, who doesn't have, all this crazy experience and wasn't taught from a Shaolin monk, from fucking China, the Shaolin Temple, for 4 years or whatever, someone who grapples and wrestles and fucking does this shit all the time, spars with other people all the time, spars with professionals. If she can defend herself against me, she can defend herself against anyone on a fucking regular basis. Alright? And that's the best thing you can have, is real practice against a stronger, more trained individual. If you can defend yourself against a trained killer, you can defend yourself against some random motherfucker trying to steal your purse, trying to fuck with you on the street, trying to assault you or something, okay? So yeah, if you have watched it this far, please let me know down at the bottom, because this is a 30-minute video. I love it. Code word. Put a code word down at the bottom. Surviving When Modern Medicine Fails. Okay, it's a book I'm reading right now. Just put the title of this book down in the comment section if you've gotten this far, okay? And I really, really appreciate that, and I hope that you appreciate all this information I've given you. Leave your questions and comments down below, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll talk to you soon.